Did you know a crocodile can slow its heart to 2 beats per minute? While the world around you is screaming, rushing, and flailing, that prehistoric lizard is just chilling, patient, present, focused. What if your greatest power was choosing that same unshakable, terrifying calm? It's not weakness, it's the ultimate rebellion. We need to talk about the current global mood. Look around. We are living in a society that is not just stressed, but addicted to stress. We are completely hooked on the adrenaline drip feed of anxiety. Think of your emotional landscape like an old arcade game. Specifically, whack-a-mole. That's where we live now. Stress pops up? Whack. We scroll TikTok until our brain goes numb. Sadness surfaces? Whack. We grab a snack or three. Insecurity knocks? Whack. We buy something we don't need, edit a selfie until it's a lie, or jump into a petty argument online. We are constantly in motion, desperately trying to silence the internal noise by substituting it with external chaos. It's a panic pandemic. Not in the medical sense, but in the sense that emotional flailing is the default setting. It's normalized. In fact, it's often celebrated. We've somehow managed to normalize the constant state of freaking out. Breaking down in your car while crying to a sad song is somehow more relatable, more human than taking one single deep, deliberate breath and saying, "This too shall pass." Why? Because drama is instantly consumable. Chaos is a great spectator sport. And in our current culture, being composed, being genuinely, deeply unbothered, it's suspicious. It makes people uncomfortable. You ever notice how the world thrives on your restlessness? Your fear is monetized. Your rage is rewarded with clicks and engagement. The whole system is built to keep you on edge, feeling like you're constantly behind or not enough or missing out. We are programmed from the moment we open our phones to need the noise. We open social media like it's a defibrillator for our nervous system. A jolt of information, outrage, or validation just to feel something other than the quiet discomfort of being alone with our own thoughts. We can't even wait in line at the grocery store without pulling out our pocket-sized anxiety amplifiers. We struggle to take a moment of silence. Why? Because stillness feels like failure. Silence feels like death. We associate constant motion and high emotional volatility with being productive or being passionate or being alive. But let me tell you something personal. Your nervous system doesn't know how many followers you have. It doesn't know how rich or how successful you are. It only asks one core, primal question. Am I safe right now? And every time you go chasing drama, every time you feed into the chaos, every time you desperately seek validation from a stranger's comment section, your nervous system hears a resounding no. So it tightens up. It speeds up your internal clock. It dumps stress hormones into your bloodstream until your body feels like a battlefield of confusion and exhaustion. That is why you are so tired. You're not lazy and you're not weak. You are just fried, frazzled, pulled in 20 different directions, yet somehow still stuck in the same place. You are spending all your mental and emotional energy currency reacting to things that don't actually matter. We feel like we're working, surviving, posting, socializing, and still going nowhere. That's because noise doesn't move you forward. It just keeps you spinning in place. It's the ultimate distraction from the hard, slow work of building a life that actually matters to you. So, before we even talk about the cure, we have to acknowledge the disease. We are suffering from a chronic addiction to anxiety, and our frantic reactions are only keeping the panic pandemic alive. We need an intervention. And that intervention starts with stillness. It starts with recognizing that the real power, the ultimate flex, is not reacting at all. It's watching chaos knock on your front door and calmly being like, "No thanks, I'm not home today." That's the exit ramp. That's the secret hack to reclaiming your life. Now that we've established that most of us are running on an emotional treadmill of noise and reaction, let's talk about a different kind of power. Let's talk about the original master of stillness, the crocodile. I'm serious. Think about this apex predator. Did you know that a crocodile can literally slow down its heart rate to just 2 beats per minute? They can sit there, totally still, submerged, or floating silently for up to an hour waiting for the perfect calculated moment to strike. 2 beats per minute. That prehistoric, cold-blooded murder lizard is just chilling. Patient, present, focused, and utterly, terrifyingly calm. Imagine that contrast. Around that crocodile, everything else is screaming, rushing, panicking, overreacting, and flailing around. There are birds squawking, fish darting, and who knows what drama is unfolding on the riverbank. But the croc? It's completely unbothered. It has optimized its biology for pure, unadulterated stillness. Now, imagine if you could tap into that. Not the murder part. Don't get weird on me. But the sheer, unshakable calm. The kind of calm that makes people uncomfortable. The kind that doesn't flinch when everything else is breaking down. It's the kind of presence that makes your friends or colleagues go, "Why the hell are you not freaking out right now?" And you can just look at them with a quiet confidence that says, "Because I trained for this." This is the power of the non-reaction. It's a deliberate choice, an inner stillness that acts as a fortress against the world's chaos. Think about how we usually handle stress. When a sudden, stressful event, a harsh email, a petty argument in a group chat, a misunderstanding, hits us, our default is to match its energy. We instantly tighten up, speed up, and send back an equally frantic response. We throw a match onto the fire. We believe we must react instantly or we'll lose. We're so afraid of being misunderstood or not having the final word that we sacrifice our peace for a cheap, temporary feeling of being right. The crocodile doesn't do that. It doesn't waste energy on small movements. It doesn't flail against the current. It knows its power is in its stillness. That's what we need to internalize. The real flex is not reacting. It's watching the tide of chaos roll in and deciding that today, you are a mountain. The water can crash, but the mountain doesn't move. Calm is often mistaken for weakness, for apathy, or for being soft. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Calm isn't weakness. It's discipline. It's emotional jujitsu. It is the art of not letting stupid, petty nonsense rent space in your head for free. You don't need to control the storm raging outside. That's impossible. What you need to do is stop letting the storm control you. This is where the two-beat heart comes in. That slowed heart rate, that total stillness is not passive. It is an active strategy. It's a conservation of energy for the moment that truly matters. When you choose to pause instead of instantly reacting, you are reclaiming your power in that space. You are telling your nervous system, "Hold on, we're not running on instinct today. We are operating on choice." This crocodile calm is magnetic. You ever met someone so composed it almost pisses you off? They're in a group chat meltdown. Everyone else is losing their minds over a typo or some tiny drama, and this one person is just sipping their tea, not responding, not taking sides, not emotionally invested in the circus. They are just there, steady breathing. They look like they made peace with every possible outcome before the issue even started. That kind of energy is terrifying and magnetic precisely because it's so rare. It feels alien. Most people are walking around like open wounds with Wi-Fi, constantly reacting, constantly seeking that next notification to give them a crumb of meaning. The quiet ones. The ones who don't argue, don't gossip, don't over-explain, don't chase. They feel like they have a secret. And they do. Their secret is that stillness is strength. Their silence is a strategy. Their peace is power. And that quiet, focused presence, that two-beat heart rhythm, is the first step toward true freedom. You see that gap? That space between the crocodile's stillness and your constant stress? That's the space where real power lives. You don't have to stay stuck in emotional whack-a-mole. If you're ready to stop paying emotional rent and start building your own unshakable calm, I want to give you the blueprint. I've put the daily training, the exact emotional reps you need, into my new ebook, 30 Days to a Better You. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being anchored. Tap the link below right now. Start building your fortress of chill today. If the crocodile teaches us the power of stillness, this third point is about the politics of it. We've established that the world is addicted to noise, and it wants you addicted too. Therefore, choosing calm is not just a personal health choice. It is a straight-up rebellion. It's the unbothered uprising, in a world that monetizes your fear, rewards your rage, and thrives on your restlessness. Being genuinely calm is a deliciously disruptive act. It's saying, "I see your panic and I opt out." Think of your inner peace as your most powerful form of protest. Your inner stillness is your middle finger to a society obsessed with manufactured outrage and emotional escalation. Let's be honest. Drama is sexy. Chaos is relatable. We've all been conditioned to believe that if you're not constantly flailing, you're not trying hard enough, or you just don't care. But what if being unbothered was your most radical political statement? When you choose non-reaction, you are disrupting the economy of chaos. When you refuse to take the bait, the entire spectacle loses its energy. The gossip, the petty drama, the manufactured urgency. It all relies on you showing up and emotionally investing. When you don't, you become an anomaly. You become a problem for the people who profit from your stress. This is why calm confuses the chaotic. It makes insecure people itchy. You've met this person, right? The one who remains unshakable when everyone else is in a group chat meltdown over a typo or some workplace injustice. They don't jump in. They don't take sides. They don't feel the need to argue, gossip, or over-explain. They just exist like a mountain. Calm, watching, breathing. And you are low-key furious with them. You think, why are you not freaking out with the rest of us? What's your secret deal? That quiet, unbothered energy is magnetic because it hints at a deeper truth we all crave. That they've already made peace with every possible outcome before it even started. They are untouchable. Not because they are immune to pain, but because they simply don't allow pain to drive the car anymore. We are so used to seeing loudness as strength. The loudest person in the room is usually the most scared, constantly shouting to drown out their own insecurities. But the quietest person? They are probably watching, listening, calculating, already 3 steps ahead. This is the key realization. Silence isn't weakness. Not engaging doesn't mean apathy. Sometimes, silence is a strategy. Sometimes, peace is power. The unbothered uprising is built on discipline. It is the understanding that you don't have to win every argument, correct every misunderstanding, or chase every bit of closure. You understand that your energy is currency, and every single time you react to nonsense, every time you write that fiery reply, every time you emotionally spiral over a condescending comment, you are spending your priceless currency on trash. You're paying emotional rent on places you've already moved out of. The rebellion is this. You decide to become the person who doesn't collapse when they are misunderstood. You become the person who doesn't need external validation or approval. You become the quiet power that walks into the room before you say a word. This level of composed stillness doesn't feel warm and cozy. It feels revolutionary. It feels like defiance. It feels like you've been asked to join a frantic dance party and you've politely decided to stay seated, enjoying your own quiet music. And that, my friend, is next level strength. It's rare. And anything rare is priceless. Your composure is your revolution. We've established the panic, and we've seen the power of the crocodile. Now, let's get into the mechanics of why choosing calm makes you rich. Not financially, but in terms of your most precious resource, energy currency. Think of your emotional and mental capacity as a bank account. Every time you wake up, you're granted a certain amount of capital for the day, your focus, your patience, your willpower, and your peace. This is your energy currency. And the world, the chaotic, noisy, drama-addicted world we live in, is designed to make you spend it recklessly. Every single time you react, you are making a withdrawal. A big one. Let's trace the drain. That passive-aggressive email from a coworker. You didn't just read it. You spent the next hour spiraling into an imaginary courtroom in your head, rehearsing your perfect, fiery clapback defense. That was a huge payment out of your focus account. That political argument that flared up on social media. You felt compelled to correct the record and spent 45 minutes of your evening crafting the perfect, exhausting comment. That was a big withdrawal from your patience and peace reserves. Every time you let a small trigger turn into a full-blown emotional drama, you are essentially paying emotional rent on places you don't even want to live anymore. You are letting insignificant conflicts occupy prime real estate in your mind, and you are paying the cost. In cortisol, in fatigue, in distraction. The average person is walking around emotionally bankrupt by 2 p.m. because they've been spending their energy currency on trash. They've reacted to every notification, every slight, every bit of noise. They are constantly over-explaining, over-justifying, overthinking, and chasing approval. This doesn't make you productive. It just leaves your soul running on 2% battery. That's why even good days feel like a break between breakdowns. You are fundamentally exhausted because you are financially irresponsible with your inner wealth. The secret of the calm person, the master of non-reaction, is that they practice extreme frugality with their energy currency. They understand that energy is not a renewable resource in the moment. It's a finite daily budget. They realize that they can't afford to waste an hour of their focused attention on something that will be forgotten by tomorrow. They practice the lost art of shutting the hell up and observing. They learn to let the passive-aggressive comment slide without spiraling. They learn to sit with the feeling of injustice or discomfort instead of running from it. Why is this so powerful? Because when you stop chasing things that don't matter, two things happen. You stop leaking power. You seal the emotional holes that drain you. You instantly reclaim hours of mental bandwidth that used to be dedicated to worry, gossip, and settling petty scores. This saved energy is then available for the things that actually move your life forward. Your goals, your creation, your meaningful relationships. You elevate your value. You start showing up with clarity, with a quiet, unshakable confidence. You don't need to negotiate your peace for cheap dopamine hits that leave you more numb than alive. You are not trying to impress people you don't even like. Your peace is non-negotiable. And people notice this. Trust me, they feel it before they see it. There's a certain vibe that walks into a room. The energy of someone who doesn't need to prove a damn thing, who doesn't collapse when they are misunderstood, who doesn't chase closure or approval. Calm is rare now. And anything rare is valuable, priceless even. When you stop reacting to the noise, you start accumulating true power. You become the person who is not just present, but presence itself. Rooted, steady, and untouchable in the best way. You are a wealthy person, not because of what you have, but because of what you refuse to spend your most valuable currency on. This is the ultimate financial discipline for the soul. We've seen the chaotic default, embraced the crocodile calm, launched the unbothered uprising, and secured our energy currency. Now we arrive at the final crucial step, realizing that this level of composure isn't born, it's built. You weren't born with a two-beat heart. You have to construct your own fortress of chill, one emotional rep at a time. The calm person you admire, the one who seems like an alien or a monk or a serial killer, it's hard to tell, right? They weren't immune to panic. They didn't magically escape anxiety. They simply chose this life. They trained for it. They practiced restraint. The secret to building this fortress is recognizing that it doesn't come from a book or a YouTube clip with alpha energy in the title. It comes from daily emotional reps. This is the non-glamorous, hard, slow, beautiful work of rewiring your nervous system. It starts small in the uncomfortable, low-stakes moments. Think about that text you get. Maybe it's from your ex, or a difficult family member, or a manager, and it instantly makes your stomach drop and your heart race. Your old programming screams, react, defend, respond right now. Your first rep, don't respond right away. Just wait. Put the phone down. Take one breath. Reclaim your power in that tiny space between the trigger and your response. That pause is not weakness. It's you flexing a brand new muscle. Every time you pause instead of react, you're adding another brick to your fortress, another rep. You hear a piece of gossip about yourself, or a passive-aggressive comment is directed your way. Your impulse is to spiral into an imaginary courtroom in your head, preparing your perfect defense. Your choice. Let it slide. Don't spend the next hour arguing with phantoms. You are lifting weight every time you let nonsense go unanswered. You are reinforcing the walls of your fortress. The hardest rep of all is simply sitting with a feeling instead of running from it. We've been conditioned to immediately soothe, distract, or escape discomfort. Sad? Scroll. Anxious? Snack. Bored? Buy something. But true calm is built when you allow yourself to just feel the anxiety, the anger, or the sadness without needing to immediately act on it. This is deep work. You are walking through your emotional earthquakes and choosing to emerge, not untouched, but anchored. It's not glamorous. No one claps for you when you don't lose your temper at work. You don't get a medal for not getting sucked into a pointless internet argument. But you do get stronger. You start to notice subtle shifts. You don't flinch as much. You don't overthink for as long. You don't get pulled into chaos as easily. You start choosing peace, not because you're soft, but because you're done paying emotional rent. You've moved out, and the landlord can yell all they want. You're not listening anymore. And then, one day, you experience the result. Someone tries to drag you into chaos. A coworker, an old friend, a dramatic relative. And you find yourself just smiling. Not a sarcastic, smug smile, but a genuine, peaceful one. Why? Because you realize you've seen that movie before. You know how it ends. And you've already walked out of that theater. You're watching life from a different seat now. You've upgraded. You've evolved. Your peace, your composure, is not passive. It's active. It's alive. It's powerful. It's the vibe of someone who has done the work, who has dug through their own trauma, who has reclaimed the steering wheel of their life. You are cruising now. Steady, focused, and untouchable in the best possible way. This unshakable vibe is yours, and you earned it. One uncomfortable breath, one non-reaction, one emotional rep at a time. The fortress of chill is complete.